So what do you like best about the SIEVEMK sessions?
That the staff there are always patient with us because we're quite a big group, and after school we can be a bit tired and antsy, but they're always really patient, and they explain things in a way that's easy for us to understand, and they can just talk to us about it in like more detail, which I really like about going there.
Basically, it was last year where we had like a revision session where we were talking about revision tips and stuff like that, and I thought that was helpful because I'm like really bad at revising, and it helped us, like it motivated us to like revise. And
I think for us it was about using what we knew was the new pupil premium money that we had in the second year. So the first year I arrived here, I was given the pupil premium budget, and we were aware from looking at various Ofsted publications that had often been used and just sort of subsumed in a school's budget. So we wanted to ring fence that, and we wanted to make sure that it made a difference to the lives of disadvantaged students across the school. So we knew from looking at the research that the things that would make the difference most would be looking really clearly at students' assessment and making sure that they knew how to improve. And secondly, we knew that although it was expensive, one-to-one tuition and supplementary schools, and making sure that we got the high quality resource for the young people that need it most was absolutely at the top of our priority. So we took that money, we ring fenced it, and we got a set of people working through our Progress Centre manager, Amy Elliott, who we actually chose not because she was an educationist, but because she had a background in project management and a background in making sure that you could get a project set up that would continue after she left and after we left, and would continue working with those groups that need it most. We employed 3 outreach workers who we knew that many of the students who were in these categories, number one, were from hard to reach communities for us. Number two, were often from areas of disadvantage and did not actually trust the school particularly well. And number three were parents who often wouldn't come to us, and we had to go to them. So much of the first year was spent going out and making sure that we understood what the needs of these groups were for us. And as that developed, it's developed in a far more sort of wraparound service. So Ofsted 3 years ago thought it was highly innovative and was pushing forward. We've had a very recent Ofsted report that's just come in and has said that work is bearing fruit, in their words, that the 3 strands that we offer, which are around emotional support, are around good attendance, but most importantly are around the academic achievement of young people, are really beginning to bear fruit, and we can see that in the outcomes for young people now. The way it's changed in the last year or two is that we're trying to now focus our work on years 7, 8 and 9, particularly in closing the gap in literacy and numeracy development that we know just increases as you go into year 7 all the way through to year 11. So in a nutshell, we wanted to make an immediate difference and a long-term difference to the lives of disadvantaged young people.
I was employed by the campus to set up a project that utilised the pupil premium funding. I've been employed at the school since January 2013, so the project has been running for 2 and a bit years. The project focuses on creating a menu of interventions that we can provide to our pupil premium students to respond to their emotional and learning needs. In my initial 3 months in the role, I started to look at local providers, both those that could provide an academic intervention as well as more social and community-based charities and agencies. I came across SIV via their website and went to meet with Tony when they're in their old premises at Neath Hill. And obviously Tony explained the academic support work that they were doing in the community, running additional maths and English classes for predominantly the local BAME groups in the area, as well as providing one-to-one tuition, and a lot of that was through the church and funded by parents themselves. So we had a discussion about the resources that SIV held and how that I could utilise those as part of the Progress Centre.
We have a maximum of 12 students in our classrooms, and we deliver English and maths with our qualified teachers. We do initial assessment for the students when they arrive. We're constantly doing formative assessment, either be it formal or informal. We do 10-minute quizzes at the beginning of each class, whether that will be just multiplication or spellings, just to reinforce the learning that perhaps they've done in year 7 and 8. And sometimes the children actually forget the little things. We also emphasize exam techniques. We always say to the students, make sure you work out your calculations in maths. It's very important to gain your extra points. There's no point in getting the answer if you don't show how you get it, even if it's correct. And also writing and spelling is very important, because you really need to make sure that the assessor that's looking at your exam or your essay, that you want to actually get hold of them, and you really want them to be engaged in what you're writing about. So we emphasize so much on exam techniques, study skills, and also when the children come here, we encourage them to come back during the week if they want to come into a quiet place to study, and we encourage them that the teachers are always around, and if they have problems, just to ask. We provide photocopying for them, we provide past exam papers, so we just love for them to come in and ask questions, and of course we get to know them as well, so we can help them with confidence, we can help them on the mentoring side. And as Ben said earlier in his speech, that Ofsted visited and they were really happy with the 3 strands that Stantonbury were delivering. That was on emotional, it was on attendance, and it was on academic. And SIEVEMK is delivering on all those 3 strands for Stantonbury campus, which is excellent.
Obviously, Stantonbury has quite a large Somali population, and one of our outreach workers here is Somali national, so speaks Swahili and Somali, and acts as an interpreter between the school and the parents of those students. So we wanted to run a programme for them that not only helped them boost their progress in maths and English, but also looked at the cultural differences between a Western education system and possibly the education systems that they've experienced before, or that they may have moved into the UK and come from, because they're, as a group, very academically bright, but may not have been reaching their potential due to misinterpretations of exam questions and things, due to cultural differences. So, and it was also about developing the provision for them to enhance the relationship between the campus and parents, so that they felt that they were being given additional support.
In developing the program, we went through a series of smaller class size arrangement and bespoke programs, such as study skills, the importance of remaining in education for longer, how to approach questions, remembering also that these kids were from predominantly Africa, Jamaica and so on. The context which English language is delivered in the UK was somehow strange to them.
So one of the major benefits for the campus working with SIV is the ability for SIV to pull together their resources, not only their staffing but also the time they have available to create bespoke programmes that meet the needs of our students. We all know that schools are very busy and there's only so much time in the day, and what it allows us to do is to run after school provisions that the outside agency has the time to tailor and research what the students actually need, so that we can respond to them appropriately. So that's one of the biggest benefits for me running the Progress Centre in my working relationship with SIV. The ability for a supplementary school to plan and to resource and to staff additional support programmes can be massively helpful. They obviously have the experience and the targeted awareness of certain groups of students that we know exist within different school systems, so BME groups, students from Eastern European countries. You know, we have a lot of schools in Milton Keynes have a very diverse population and student mobility, And I think it can be difficult sometimes for mainstream schools to have a full grasp of all of those different groups, often to the level that's required. And so therefore, if you utilise the local knowledge and local skill set that supplementary schools have, that can really benefit what you're trying to deliver within the mainstream school.
They'll help me overcome the fears I normally have in exams, like how do I answer this question, am I going to get it wrong, what do I do? Well, we had one activity that caught us out when it came to reading. Well, we had 10 instructions, but instead of reading all 10, we decided to do them straight away, and then we found that in the end we weren't supposed to do them.
It's definitely going to stop a lot of the procrastination that I do daily, and it's just going to it's kind of motivated me to stop those daily habits of mine and go on to take the skills I've learnt from the sessions and apply them to my everyday sort of learning.
Do you think it's helped? Has it made a difference, these sessions?
Definitely, yeah. Some of the after school sessions I attend after school, they tend to be quite boring for me. But these ones, I feel, because of all the engagement they've been putting in and all the time they put in for every individual, I think that's definitely motivated me and not put me off what they have to offer. Yeah.
Do you feel that supplementary schools can contribute significantly to the learning and development of children and young people?
Yeah, good supplementary schools. There's a big difference in that. High quality supplementary schools that supplement the good work that goes on with schools, that understand it and that build on the curriculum that is already in schools and actually give students proper qualifications that make a difference to their lives and make sure that they're as invested in them as their school is, will make an enormous difference. Bad supplementary schools are money spent on not a lot. So I think what we recognised for our work with SIEVEMK was that we had a high quality supplementary provider that we needed to use and tap into, originally with our Black Somali students, now with our disadvantaged students, and as we go on, I know there's wider work to connect our feeder schools to the work we're doing here as well. So I think absolutely, as long as it's high quality, what we demand of our students, you know, and our teachers, we demand of supplementary schools.
Yeah, seeing as it's rare, and yes, and for future students who have like problems with exams, yeah, this is a really good thing to offer them.
When we first started going, it was around our first set of exams in year 10, and we weren't too sure. We never had proper actual examinations before, and we were told how to tackle things and what keywords in the exam questions are and stuff, and it sort of just told us more about the system and what to do. It helped out a lot, like how we look at learning now, how I will look at learning in the future, I think, as well, personally. I think that's what Civ's done for us.